Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yeah, and choo-choo.
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, for joining us all aboard the murder train, pulling away from the station. Yeah. Let's do this. We have a crazy show for you that was a big Hollywood movie starring a lot of stars. And yeah, it got turned into that. It's a crazy it's a crazy enough story for Crispin Glover to be involved in the movie. So that tells you a lot right there, because he's insane. He's crazy. And not as crazy as the story, though.
He's a wacky man.
Very quickly, go to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get your tickets live. Shows on sale right now. February 10th in Cleveland, February 11th in St. Louis are really getting tight. So get those tickets right now. They all are selling very fast. Get all your tickets you can right now. They were the ones all through May are for sale right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus stuff. That's right. Everything you could want bonus-wise. Tons of bonus episodes. Anybody $5 a month or above. You're going to get new ones every other week. And this week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about players attacking fans. Like going into the stands and just beating the shit out of some guy sitting there with his hot dog. It's hilarious. And then for Small Town Murder, we have a crazy one. It's about Nazis on drugs. What were the Nazis taking? What were they doing? What was Hitler on specifically? We have his doctor's diaries that tell exactly what he was taking. What was Goering on? It's amazing. It's so crazy. Wait till you hear about Hitler's birthday party. It's just wild. So we'll do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports, and you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. So that said, we'd like to announce at this moment, we've left people hanging for months. They keep asking us, so we're going to put it out now. We do have a new show coming out.
We do.
We are continuing Crime and Sports, so definitely listen to Crime and Sports. But we have a new show coming out. We cannot wait. It's going to be toward the end of February, we think, we'll give you an exact date coming up soon. But it's a show called, Jimmie? You can say it. I'll say it.
You want me to say it?
Go ahead.
I thought you wanted the Beverly D'Angelo drum roll.
No. We're not lighting up the house with Christmas lights. Go ahead and tell the people.
It's about time we start a show, James. We're going to call it Your Stupid Opinions.
Your Stupid Opinions, and it's not yours specifically, but everyone out there.
It might be.
It might be. We're going to talk about, if you're a Patreon member, you know that we do reviews sometimes. We talk about reviews. This show is going to be all about people's reviews, where we pick them apart. Could be anything from a terrible, sleazy motel in rural Missouri to the diner inside the Newark airport to it could be anything. Could be a yarn. It could be a yarn store. It could be a cross-stitching class in Iowa. Who knows what it could be?
A hotel where 4 people have the same review of the same rusty razor in the shower.
Over the course of months, guys. That's one of the things. And we'll release that episode into the stream so you can hear what it's all about. But it is insanely hilarious, and we cannot wait. And it kind of goes along with the reviews section of Small Town Murder, as you know. So there you go. Your Stupid Opinions coming soon. We cannot wait. There you go. So that said, let's sit back. It's time to get into this and hear about some terrible death. I think it's time to clear the lungs, climb out of your sunroof, stand on top of your car like a lunatic, arms in the air, spread high, and shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this, Jimmie.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we? We are going all the way out to California.
Hey!
Right. The regular episode this week was Alabama. We're going from Alabama to California. We cover it all. Yeah. This is Milpitas, California.
Gross.
Do you know what this is? Yeah, Milpitas. Milpete on us, and it was bad. Milpitas. And that's what they call it, Milpitas. It's kind of...
That's bad.
It's Milpitas. It doesn't sound good.
It's too close to penis.
Milpenis is what it sounds like. It's Milpenis over there. You know, like Mill Hollow or Mill.
I gotta go to the doctor. I got the old mill penis.
Yeah, Mill this or that. They call old things. Yeah. It's Milpenis. That's perfect. So. It's sort of part of San Jose now physically. They've kept their own town government and all that. They've passed resolutions and all this shit, but now it's kind of part of San Jose. But it used to be a farming community, and this is when it was just kind of a suburb is when we're going to talk about it. It's much smaller. Right now there's 75,000 people there, but back in 1980 when our story takes place, there was about 37,000 people, and it was considered like a nice quiet suburb town.
It's fucking booming now.
Now it's booming. Yeah, you know, the real estate
Silicon
up there.
Valley.
Yeah. So median income here right now, $99,072 is the median household income.
Fuck.
Median home price, though, you're going to need more than that because median home price here, $1,273,300. So
this is a fucking joke.
That's insane. That's what I mean. This is where a bunch of tech workers live above people's garages and shit. This is that type of area. So
it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. History real quick here. The name, why Milpenis? Where'd that come from? Apparently, in 1857, they wanted to put a post office here, and that's how they were going to do it. And they wanted to call the town Penitencia, which is after a small Roman Catholic confessional building that served for the local Indians and ranchers in the area a while back. And there was also the creek named after that, which was there. So the local farmer and assistant postmaster said it sounds too much like penitentiary.
Right.
We don't want to be Penitentiary, California. That's terrible. Instead, we'll name it after a penis. We'll have everyone confuse it for a guy named Mill's penis instead. So Mills Lane Penis it was. And there was a Rancho Milpitas, and then that's was one of the farmers' properties. So he said, we'll name it Milpitas Township, and that's where they did. So
it's clearly a Spanish name, right?
Yeah, it was some guy's ranch. Alvicio was his name, or Alviso was his name. So it served as a rest stop for travelers on the Oakland-San Jose highway, and they had a nice hotel here for a few years and shit like that. The first murder in Milpitas was committed in the early 1860s in Rathbone's Saloon, and the murderer escaped, was never caught. So
the first one, they didn't even get him.
Didn't even get him. Reviews of this town. Oh, boy, so much fun here. Let's see. Here's 5 stars for this one. Okay. Hiking the old Calaveras Road, both in summer and winter, is the best, especially in the morning because the air is very crispy. All righty. Crispy. Crispy
Gross.
Is different. Yeah. Crispy sounds like there's like crumbs and grease in it and shit. Yeah. Sounds like there's a saturated fat content.
It's real nice around the time that when you're finished hiking, you feel like a mozzarella stick.
It's kind of like a ruffle, you know what I mean? So, around sunset hours, the view is best. And if you are feeling brave enough, the night view is fantastic. Brave enough? And you can get shanked in the back by a... What's happening out there? There's a lot of cows, although it's caution not to feed or touch them. Yeah, the cows are known to be very dangerous. You don't want to. They'll come right after you.
Docile animals on the
They'll
planet.
come right after you, Jimmy. No. It's a fairly safe town, but of course not completely free of crime. All right.
Okay.
4 stars. It's a short one. Schools should receive more funding. Fair.
Yes.
The overall area is pretty safe, but it can be a bit smelly here. Which is not what I expected.
That's when it's crunchy or
crispy. It's when
it
gets crispy, when it's smellier. That sounds like a Mad Lib. It's a bit smelly here. 4 stars. I love that Milpitas is so ethnically diverse. I've always felt at home living there. However, there's not much to do around the city for a teenager, and in the evening, you can catch a whiff from the landfill. I think we're starting to explain the night air here.
Ew.
Yeah, that's the night air. That's why it's crispy.
You can smell trash juice? What the fuck?
There's a lot going on here. Here's 3 stars. I moved to Milpitas about 3 months ago from San Jose. It's nice. I'd say there's an unusual amount of clothes scattered about the streets. What a strange detail. That's... I don't just you see a hoodie over there and just like a 2T pair of kids' jeans. I don't know. Just some shit.
Unusual amount.
Really weird. That doesn't detract too much from its cleanliness, however. Must be clean clothes. I don't know. I like the abundance of shopping centers and restaurants. There's not much commute time. He says also, what I'd like to see change is the garbage situation. Apparently there's a issue with the garbage there.
Yeah, you can fucking smell it.
You can smell it. It makes the air
hell of an issue.
Crispy and smelly. Here's 2 stars. Milpitas is a very disgusting place to live. There
we go.
Very direct, I would say.
Yeah.
If you walk around Milpitas, the air smells like dump because of the dumpster nearby somewhere. It's a town of dumpster. Milpitas, America's dumpster. What the fuck is happening? Crime.
It's the dumpster nearby somewhere. It's
Somewhere.
always right there.
Crime is very high and not a lot of diversity. So the opposite of what the last few people said. Homeless people are invading the area. Parachuting in, it's wild. It's you know those paratrooper homeless people. They come in
It's like halftime at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they get like
They're just dropping in.
50 of them at a time come in. Bindles hanging off them. The only good thing about Milpitas is that the schools are good. Other than that, a disgusting and outrageous place to live. Outrageous. This air is outrageously crispy. Disgusting.
I love this place.
This place is crazy.
It's impossible.
Things to do here is the Santa Clara Art and Wine Festival.
Okay.
And just quickly, here is a couple of the bands that are going to be, quote, rocking the stage. Country Cougars. Gee, wonder what that is. A bunch of frosty-haired 48-year-old women, you think, probably? Divorced.
Of chicks singing Reba. I like them.
Bunch of divorced women who very frosty with that sparkly eyeshadow I picture.
It's a very soft name. It's not a bunch of Gretchen Wilson, I'll tell you that.
I don't know.
she's like a more in-your-face country singer.
I don't know who that is.
She's going to be softer.
I gotcha. Okay. East Side Funk will be there. It seems like it's very contrasting.
East Side, not Uptown.
Not Uptown, East Side. Yeah, come on. Jesus Christ. The Peelers will be there. Don't know what that is. The Spasmatics will be there.
Hey.
That sounds like a medical diagnosis, but they're going to be there.
I don't know what they do.
They keep talking about having Polish sausage there, so maybe the sausage is great. And something called, this is food, Texas Snowballs, which I don't want to know what that is. So
it feels like they take all comers. Anybody that wants to perform or sell their wares, come out.
Come on out. What do you got? Texas Snowballs? Sure. What are you, a bunch of old ladies? You can't even play instruments? Fuck it. Put on your eyeshadow and get out there. No problem. The Country Cougars.
Bunch of guys shaking around. Let's go.
Let's do it. Come on, goddammit. That said, let's talk about a murder. What do you say here? Woof, this is crazy stuff. We got to go back in time, Jimmy, back to the time of mullets and denim jackets getting out of long Camaros. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm talking about here.
The long front ends on these things.
You know that model. You know, is it like the post 75, like the 76 through the through
looks
the 84?
Like it has a lot of leg room.
lot of hood in that car. A lot of hood to those cars.
12-foot hood.
12-footer, baby, and no ass end. So this is 1981. And Milpitas at this point is described this way locally. Quote, Milpitas itself has the newly minted feel of a once small farming community that burgeoned into a factory town with the coming of an auto plant and is now belatedly becoming part of Silicon Valley, starting their heir to the boom of the electronics industry. I misspelled that. So it's a sleepy place that's starting to grow very quickly and does grow very quickly. So let's talk about some people who are growing very quickly as well.
Okay.
Let's talk about Mark Fowlkes. Fowl, Fowlkes is his name. Wow. Fowlkes.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's not a great name. He's 17 years old, Mark is. Let's see here. He's a local stoner. He's a local burnout, basically. Okay. He's got a, denim jacket. They go to the edge of the woods to smoke weed and, minus kind of the 80s-ness of it, what we did, essentially.
Yeah.
Put baggy jeans on him and play Wu-Tang in the background. You pretty much have the same
two silver herringbone chains and double T-shirts.
Yeah, just replace Black Sabbath with Wu-Tang, and there you go. That's deal done. Same blacklight posters, probably though. That's
probably,
the other thing.
Yeah.
Same shit there. Same Led Zeppelin 4 poster.
The bedroom hasn't changed. Just the guy in it.
Just the guy in it. Yeah, maybe the lava lamp is gone. So he grew up with a young lady. Mark is 17. He grew up with Marcy Renee Conrad. And Marcy. She's 14 years old, Marcy. They grew up together and hung out together when they were kids, despite their obvious 3-year age difference. Right. She seems to hang out with that group of kids.
The older group, yeah.
She's in 9th grade, but in junior high. It's one of those junior highs that goes to 9th grade, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th is high school. So she's in 9th grade. Most of her friends are juniors in high school. So 2 grades ahead of her.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, I think, comes from Mark here, who, they hung out as
probably
kids.
Bridges the gap, but Marcy's still cool as shit.
Yeah, we'll hear, but Marcy's cool as shit. Yeah, Marcy wears a weed leaf necklace in 1981. I would have been, if I was 14, I'd have been smitten with Marcy, man, because I would have been like, we're going to go smoke weed in the woods together. This is going to be great. Yeah. This is going to be she can roll blunts, man. She just with her nails. She just cracks it, dude. She's good.
Cuts it open. It's crazy.
Good, man. She's good. So Marcy, though, she's originally from Wisconsin. Oh. She is from Bloomer, Wisconsin, is where she was born.
There is a place in Wisconsin called
Bloomer. Blue. I was going to say, judging by, I don't know where that is. I don't know if a wider underwear is required in this area, and that's why it's spread Wisconsin. From there. Yeah. I don't know. But she's from there. Her and her family moved to California when she was 3. Okay. So here she is, and she goes to Russell Junior High School. And she used to play with Mark when they were little, and then the summer before, they were dating. which he's 16, she's 13. I don't like 13. You know what I'm saying? I don't like 3 years here. 2 is okay because he's probably
pushing it even.
2's pushing it, but 2 grades in high school is a senior and a sophomore, a junior and a I don't know. That's you can't if you put them in the same bowl, they're going to swim together. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of and teenage boys are morons, and maybe he's 14 and she's 15 in age, whatever. But 17 and I don't like 16 and 13. That's too. That's creepy to me. I don't like that. He can drive,
right.
And she's like mid-puberty. I don't like that shit at all. It's not okay to me. Yeah,
I think when I was the senior dating a sophomore, you laughed at that guy. That's a creep. That's a weirdo.
Yeah,
everybody did.
But people did it though. I mean, and no one was like, "Oh, he's a pedophile," though.
No, they didn't. That wasn't a word.
No, most of the time it was they had a class together. If you put people in literally in the same classroom together, you're telling them you're peers. You can fuck.
Right.
That's just how it is. So, not that I'm approving of it, but I think kids aren't thinking, oh, she's too young if they're in the same class. But this girl, 13, I don't like it. So
I don't like that.
No. So they went out.
I don't think a 13-year-old should be kissing anybody. That's where I'm at, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just, dating? What are you dating? No. Stay home.
Yeah.
No.
Dating implies way too much.
Yeah, especially with this group. Especially, she's wearing a weed leaf necklace. She's worldly, a little bit. I'm not saying she's going around doing stuff. I'm just saying she's not she's not playing with Barbie dolls.
Shit. Right.
Yeah, she's not playing with Barbies. She wants to hang out, and smoke weed in the woods like these kids do. So they broke up, though. The year before this, in 1980, they broke up. So he ends up. They were together. They were from the same neighborhood. These two, Marcy and Mark. It's a nice neighborhood too. It's described as a quiet, well-kept neighborhood.
Yeah.
Whose houses are worth $2 million now, probably, even though they're 3-bedroom, 2-bath raised ranches that are 1,600 square feet. They used to always kind of hang out in the same circles. When he was a Cub Scout, her mother was the den mother of his Cub Scout troop. So they know each other very well for since they were kids. So she was trying to, according to her parents, Marcy at this point is trying to, quote, get her life together at 14.
She's nuts already.
Smoking too much weed or whatever it is, but she's very much into writing poetry. She has books of poetry that she writes. So that's her thing. She gets
thinker.
Yeah, she gets stoned and does poetry. Mm-hmm. So good for her. All of her friends too say that they're really good poems. They're not kid poems. They're holy shit, this sounds like out of a poetry book. That's fucking
really?
Yeah. They all say she's good at this shit. So anyway, she's attending class and doing all that. And the junior high and the high school are right across the street from each other too. Which that's there's going to be some cross streams
keeping
going
them together too long. Yeah.
You're crossing the streams there. I don't like that. So,
my high school and my middle school were directly next door to each other.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's too close.
My son went to
That's too close.
Exactly the middle school there. So
that's too close.
They're right next door to each other. Yeah, they can
right there.
They can finger each other through the fence. It's right there.
Yeah,
you can stick your arm right through that thing. Come on, baby. Yeah. It's not even chain link. It's those bars, so there's plenty of room for
it.
That's
right. It's bar. That's right.
They're 5 inches apart.
It's crazy.
You can go crazy, man.
It's too close.
So these two are a part of a group of kids that hang out, and the group of kids in high school, everybody, and this is a very creative moniker that the other kids have given them and that they call themselves. They are known as, you ready for this, Jimmy?
Oh, boy.
The Stoners. See how creative that is? They really went out on a limb, and you like to see kids reach into that part of their brain and get that creativity flowing and just kind of the Stoners, man.
So what you're saying is it's the same cliques 10 years later when I went.
Yeah, we were all the Stoners.
18 years later, for Christ's sake. This is 81?
10, Jesus. 19, Jesus. Yeah, we weren't in high school in 1991, but yeah, these, it's the same kids.
Stoners stuck around. Yeah.
These are the headbanger version of that of us, There's always, but we would all, for weed, we'd end up hanging out. We'd buy the weed from each other, and
we'd end up somewhere together on Saturday.
Yeah, that's one thing about legalization of weed. It's going to stop a lot of cross-pollination of groups in high school.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where you'd be hanging out with people and going, none of us belong together.
Right.
None of us. You're on the soccer team.
Yeah.
This kid just got out of jail. This one did that. This one's over here.
Yeah.
This is a blonde girl whose parents think she's at the library, and we're all together. Why? Weed. She's getting fingered by the kid who just got out of jail. Right. This is the whole thing's crazy.
Yeah, the kids that smelled bad were around us, and we didn't know why. We knew why.
We knew why. Now, November 3rd, 1981, Marcy's mother reports her as a runaway.
Oh.
Says she ran away, calls the cops, describes her as a runaway, which, according to the family, wasn't so unusual because she's run away a bunch of times before. So it's not unusual for Marcy to run away. Mm-hmm. So if Marcy doesn't come home, they're like, oh, Marcy's late. Let's call the cops. She's probably a runaway. Yeah, right. It's kind of where her family's at. And she's 14, so if she's out of pocket, you probably want to know where she is.
Yeah, and if she's disappeared a few times, I think 10 minutes is a pretty good window to start calling police.
She ran away. Yep, she's gone. So she ended up, what she did on November 3rd was skipped her afternoon classes, skipped the last few periods of the day, so she could hang out with a guy she knows here, a local kid who's part of the stoner group.
Yeah.
Now, his name is Anthony Jacques Broussard.
Oh.
Jacques.
Anthony, and then
Jacques.
All French.
Jacques Broussard. He goes by Jacques, too.
He does?
Yeah, which you probably just go by Tony, right? I mean, what are we talking about here?
I don't know. If you're trying to make the whole French thing your personality, I think Broussard is French, and that
I guess it gives you. But he's like
Anthony Broussard. That doesn't sound good.
He's like a 6'4", 280-pound black kid. So I don't think he's like walking around with a beret on and a cigarette extender.
Yeah, I think that's Tony.
That's Tony Broussard there.
Yeah.
Like if it was me, I wouldn't be Jacques either. I'd be fucking Tony Broussard. I'd especially be Tony. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Unless he's a foreign exchange student actually from France, then you go by Jacques Broussard and you speak French.
No. Oh, that's one of the things, too, about this town, too, is there is no racial tension in this town because there's an auto plant, and everybody's parents work at the auto plant, and they all work together. So it's kind of like, you don't be racist toward that kid because I go to lunch with his dad. So it's one of those deals.
He brings a hell of a sandwich.
Yeah, so the stoner group is, they don't give a shit. There's never comes up what race anybody is. They don't care. So now Anthony, Jacques, here. Yeah. Jacques is 16 years old. He's a junior at Milpitas High. He is Mark's best friend.
Oh.
So Marcy's ex-boyfriend's best friend.
Yeah.
They hang out all the time. Mark has known Jacques since kindergarten. They've grown up together. They've always been best friends. And a lot of the kids around here aren't really close to Jacques, though, but Mark is very close to him. He's known as Jacques, a gentle, kind of likable, just kind of easygoing guy.
Yeah.
6'4", 280, kind of an easygoing, laid-back kind of a cat.
Damn it, that's so big.
Like a lot of guys who are that. Like it's like our, Josh. It's like Josh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not that heavy, but he's a big guy, and he's just a friendly, calm, nice guy, and people like him.
Otherwise, you're super afraid of that guy.
And you're taught anybody who's ever been bigger as a kid is taught immediately to not to seem aggressive to smaller kids. We say that all the time with
you're gonna scare people.
NBA centers. They're like, why aren't they aggressive? Because they're been told their whole life not to be aggressive because they're a foot taller than everybody else. They're told
they'll break things.
Calm it down. Let Timmy win too. Sometimes they've been told to chill out. So his friends said that this is an understatement here. One of his close friends said, he was I knew him since he was little too, and he was a nice, happy-go-lucky kid. And then he said that he, quote, seemed a little strange ever since he came home at 8 years old from elementary school and found his mother dead in the shower.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll make you a little strange probably after that. They said it's weird. Whole demeanor changed. Really? Walked in. Number one, when you're 8, you don't want to see your mom nude, really, anyway. But to go, mom, and then she's in the shower, and you play a video game or something. Probably not him, because that would have been in the early 70s. But you're hanging out in there and fucking, whatever, reading a magazine. You're like, wow, she's been in there a long time.
That is a long shower.
Knocking, she's not answering, and then you find your mom dead in a heap with that's crazy. That's
Yikes.
traumatic thing here. So that's who she went to hang out with. Marcy went to hang out with Jacques. So nice, gentle, kind of a little bit weird guy, essentially. So that ends up going on. Marcy is reported a runaway.
Yeah.
And the next day, November 4th, Jacques is at the local arcade playing pinball. Yeah. There's a pizza. It says pizza/arcade on a big sign. So you want to be there. 1981. That was the fucking spot. You had roller skating to that, and you would have had to keep kids away with fucking tear gas because they would have been charging the place.
Yeah,
it would have been over fire code every week.
The guy getting rid of them at the end of the night will be exhausted from trying to shoo them away.
These fucking
what
kids.
A cool place!
What a great goddamn place. So on the 4th of November, they're all hanging out. This is Mark. This is Jacques. And 2 other kids here. Epperson is the one kid, and Hansen is the other kid. All right. So Jacques is like, I got a secret. He keeps telling them, I got a secret. And they're like, what's your goddamn secret? We're bored. It's 1981. None of us have anything to look at. So we're all out of quarters. So what's the secret? We got anything? Yeah. And he said, okay, I'll tell you. And Jacques says, you want to see a dead body?
Oh, Jacques.
And they're like, get the fuck out of here. You don't have a dead body. So they thought he was joking around because he's a jokester sometimes. And they're all cutting up and joking around and fucking off. And they watch horror movies and they're like 80s headbanger kids. So they think, oh God, he's just being a scumbag. And then Jacques said, no, really? You want to see a dead body? He said, I just killed Marcy. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. No, you didn't. You didn't kill Marcy. Why would you kill Marcy?
He told Mark that?
Yeah, he told
Mark's there.
He told all 3 of them that. There's 3 kids there. Epperson, Hansen, and Falks are all there.
Hey guys, I killed his ex. Want to see it?
Yeah, want to see? I just killed our friend. Do you want to see him? You want to see her?
Also, yeah, she's a friend.
She's part of the group. Yeah, they all
Right.
know who she is. Like they all know her. So they go, you didn't fucking kill her. You're crazy. Right. And they're like, how'd you do it then? If you did it, if you killed her, what'd you do? Did you shoot her? What's going on?
Yeah.
He said, no, I was at my father's house and we were hanging out. She skipped some classes, came over to hang out. And we got in an argument over, quote, either sex or remarks that Marcy had made about his mother.
One of the
So usually small 14-year-old girls start talking shit about large guys' dead mothers. That's usually how they get shit on. They're like, your mother's a bitch, yo. What's up? Yo, she's a fuck. Yeah, that's right. I know she's dead. Fuck that shit. I went and pissed on her grave, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, there's probably not a 14-year-old kid from Wisconsin who says that often to someone 3 times their size.
Too much herbal essence in the shower and come to death.
She came out blazing, guns blazing, talking some shit. So he said that he strangled her in response to that. Strangled her up, he said, on a couch at the house there. He said then he threw her into his father's pickup truck and went and dumped her on a hillside over there near the Calaveras Reservoir. So, yeah, there's there. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
He said, yeah, she was wearing a brown tank top and white socks. I threw her in there. Nothing else. Dumped her in there. Dumped her into the gully.
She stripped down into a brown tank top, white socks, and started insulting my mother.
Well, that's what you do. You go, here's my ass. Let me tell you why your mother's a whore. That's usually how it is. They said, well, why is she only in a tank top and socks? And he goes, oh, because I raped her first. Did I mention that too? Yeah. I mean, why strangle? You might as well get your money's worth, right? And they're just like, now they think you're bullshit. They were believing him
ridiculous things
until he's like, yeah, I raped her, of course. And they're like, you raped and strangled Marcy. Yeah, right. Like, no, you didn't. That's fucking crazy. So he said, no, really, I dumped her. It's an oak-lined gully near like where kids go to make out and finger each other. That's what it is. There's a lover's lane up there.
Where it is.
Yeah, you know where it is, in the hills outside of town, which now has houses on it that are $4 million, I'm sure. But at one point, there was teenagers fucking blowing each other there.
Doing horrible things there.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So he said, yeah, no, I took her there and, dumped her off, and that's how it goes. You want to see her? I'll take you there.
Oh, boy.
So they're like, huh? What are you talking about? So he does, and this spreads too, because they tell other people. That one guy, John Hansen, who's in this group of four, three people who's listening to him, he told an oil company employee that he knows, who's some other 18-year-old kid, and they were like, no, bullshit. So then they went out to ride out and see her too. Yeah, but this particular, at the arcade in the parking lot, they still don't believe Broussard here. They don't believe Jacques. And Mark Folks said, I bet $5 it ain't real, as they're walking to the car to go see her. Yeah, he's like, I bet $5 he's full of shit. Yeah. You know, they're kids. Yeah. So Hansen said they jumped into the Jacques' white pickup truck. He said, tore ass down. He said he was really going fast for some reason, going through these country roads, because there were still country roads out there, toward Calaveras Reservoir. And as they're going, Jacques is pointing out artifacts along the road that belong to Marcy. Oh, look, there's Marcy's purse. See it there? And there's a purse on the ground. Oh, look, there's her.
The passenger side of the vehicle.
Yeah. If you look out the passenger side of the vehicle, you'll see a deceased middle schooler's trapper keeper. See that? And that's literally what was there. There's her binder. And they were like, what the fuck? Like, they're seeing a purse and a binder. Like, why would these things be there?
He was the only one who would know.
Yeah, they're like, this is crazy. They also see, like, her clothes. Her jeans are up, like, at the top of the hill, just sitting there near the road.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, too.
$5. Pay up, sucker.
$5. Well, who knows? You might have planned. This might be a big, giant, elaborate prank. Who knows? This might be this guy. Maybe he's coming out of his shell, comedy-wise, and this is his version of funny. We don't know.
Solid prank.
It would be a solid prank if it was real. Yeah. If like they were like, yeah, no, and like he put, something down there, and then Marcy popped out from behind a tree and was like, boo, motherfuckers. They're like, ah, they ran away. That'd be awesome.
Thought your friend was a murderer. You're so dumb.
That'd be so cool there. If this was a prank and Marcy was in on it, that'd be awesome. But instead, Mark Falk said, quote, I knew it was her from her clothes. I just said, take me home. All I could think about was Jacques is in trouble now. Like, oh boy, he's fucked. Now,
also, you're around a murderer right now. You're not safe.
You should probably worry about that. That's an issue. The Epperson guy, he says he didn't get very close to the body and concluded that it was a mannequin. He was like, it's a fucking mannequin. what is he talking about? That's a mannequin because she's pretty white anyway, and now she's extra pale from being dead. So he's like, it's a mannequin. Obviously, I don't believe that shit. So now the rumors are spreading all around. And another kid said he went to see it because he heard that Marcy was out there, but he also heard that it's a mannequin. So it's the town mystery now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But how many times has it been a mannequin? It's always a body.
It usually is a body. Sometimes it is a mannequin. That's the scary part.
How many times have you seen a mannequin outside of a store? It's a body.
Every once in a blue, it's a mannequin. Yeah. I have seen that. But usually it's probably not.
More times than not, it's a fucking body.
But they think that he's playing a trick on them with a mannequin. That's how it is. But this one kid here, Leffler is his name. He says that, quote, but when I slid down the hill and looked at it, it was obviously a real body. Mike lifted up the plastic bag. She was white and stiff, but she was real.
Hey, boy.
Yeah. So then they go back to see a second time. Fowlkes brings his 8-year-old brother Matthew with him.
What are they doing?
Why are you bringing an 8-year-old to this scene?
Yeah,
what is this?
You're going to ruin that kid now.
Come on. Hey, you know what? This guy got all fucked up from seeing a dead body when he was 8. Let's see what it does to you, Chief. We're going to do a real hands-on experiment.
This guy made another one after he saw one, so let's see if it works for you.
Jesus Christ. So Hanson stayed in the car with Matthew, the little brother, and they didn't get out to look closer. But even from the roadway, Hanson said it looked pretty real to me.
God damn it.
So they, driving back, they spotted what they thought was a police car, and they were like, go. They were trying to get out of there real fast just in case. It wasn't a police car at the time. So
another person coming to see.
Yeah, they drop Epperson and Hanson off at the pinball arcade again, and Mark Fowlkes goes home. He says he just went in his room and turned the radio on and fell asleep without dinner. Oh, boy. He's really...
real distraught.
Real distraught guy. So the next day, which is crazy, Mark said that he went over to Jacques' house to hang out with him. I know you just killed a chick. You want to hang?
Where's the part where he calls the cops?
No. That's the crazy part. You're going to hear about 13 people come to see the body, and none of them call the cops. That's the thing.
What?
Yeah, it's
fuck, man.
It's just teenagers being like, well, I don't know. If no one's going to call, I guess I'm not going to call. It's a weird group paralysis that happens with people. It's weird.
That's mind-boggling.
Mobs can cause people to do crazy shit and not do anything, too. And there's also a thing with, and this is an actual psychological thing, where if people are in a group and something bad happens, they assume someone else is going to do something about it or has done something about it. And they don't, and they'll actually won't do shit. Whereas if there's 2 people around, they'll help. If there's 20, no one will do a thing. It's fucking weird.
What the shit?
It's just a psycho. Dude, our brains are so weird.
Is it the herd mentality if we need somebody to tell us what to do?
Our brains are so pre-programmed with weird shit that we don't even realize that it has. It's so strange. We need something, yeah. So at that point, he goes over to hang out at the murder scene at Jacques' house there, and he said that Jacques showed him the couch in his house where he strangled Marcy.
It's not even like I'm coming over and we're not talking about it. It's coming up. Oh,
he's like, God. This is where I did it. Check it out, bro. Like, isn't this cool? And Mark Fowlkes said, I thought, here I am sitting in the same room 3 feet away from where this chick was killed. Very Spicoli of this kid, by the way. This is Spicoli. I mean, it actually is him. So Mark said he couldn't tell his parents, though. His mom's a nurse, his dad's an electronics worker. They're very stable, middle-class people. He said because, quote, I don't relate to them. I don't give a shit if you and your parents are on different wavelengths, bro, and they don't understand me or my music and all that kind of shit. There's a dead girl. Who cares? They can relate to that, I bet.
And it's your ex-girlfriend. You've known her since you were a child.
You know her mother since you were a child.
You've had chocolate milk with her.
Another girl, Debbie, here, Debbie accompanies this Kirk Rasmussen guy out there. On one trip, people keep taking trips out there. You want to go see the body again? There's people that go back and forth 5 times. This time, this Debbie girl, who's also 14, by the way, cut off a patch off of Marcy's jeans, discarded jeans, There was a patch from a radio station, either KSJO or KOME. Those are the hard rock stations, so that's what we're assuming that was one of those. And took the patch off her jeans, cut it out of her jeans there. Kirk Rasmussen also covers the body up with a bag of leaves that he brought to cover it all up, to quote, give Jacques a head start.
What the hell is happening?
This isn't the mafia. This is a loosely knit group of kids who are only hanging out together because they all like weed.
And he cleaned up the front yard and brought the clippings? He brought it out there?
Yeah, he's like, I brought some leaves just to cover it up, man. Put some sticks on it. So they keep going back. Hansen, the Hansen guy, was another one of, he kept going back and looking at the bodies more than once. He led a bunch of friends to the scene because he had told people about it who said, bullshit. And he said, I'll take you there. Dave Leffler is 16. He's one of them there. He said he touched Marcy's arm to make sure it was real. Ew. Another guy, Mike Irvin, not the Cowboy wide receiver, but a different one.
Mike Irvin came out there and did blow off the body.
He came down there right off the ass cheek. He said, this poor girl, he said that he went down to the body and prodded it with a downed roadway marker, like poked at her.
How do none of these kids possess the decency to be like, dude, we know her. This is crazy.
Holy shit, that's Marcy. This is fucked up. We know her parents. They're probably sad. This is bad. Leffler says he recalls being shaken and saying that's somebody's daughter down there. But Hansen, the other guy who had bet him a joint that it was real, Hansen said, I bet you a joint it's real. And Leffler said, bullshit, it's not. I'll take that bet. Now that they got there, Leffler lost the bet. So Hansen just wanted to collect his joint. He was like, fucking pony up, bro. Pony up. This kid's like shaking from seeing his dead friend. And he's like, what's up? Roll him up. Come on, bro. It's time, man.
This is terrible.
You owe me one, man. You owe me a doobie, bro. This is fucked up. Like all 81'd out.
So many dickheads together.
That's what I mean. This group of ne'er-do-well shitbags are giving stoners a terrible name, I got to say. So they did that. Now, Leffler and Irvin, the other kid, Mike Irvin, said that they were going to go to the police and report the body being there. And Hansen and a kid named Robbie Engel said, no, you can't do that. We know the guy who did it. That's crazy. So they did want to go to the police, Hansen and Engel, and instead they returned to the school. Just go back to school. Yeah. Leffler said, quote, John and Robbie were kind of hesitant. As far as we're concerned, it don't even exist, one of them said.
Yeah.
So we're just going to mind our own business. There's minding your business, and then there's this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, you mind your business so you don't have to ignore things.
Well, she's not somebody who was in $500,000 to the mafia gambling on college basketball, and they dumped her over and go, hey, none of my business. She's a 14-year-old child. This is crazy.
Who's been fucking strangled to death on the couch of a kid.
Don't forget raped first, too. So
also that, yeah.
Put that in there for whatever. So whatever that's worth, which is quite a bit. So Hansen said later that all I could think of is if we all got caught up here, they'd think we did it. Okay. Jesus Christ. And the Engel kid said that it was bugging me, but I didn't want to be involved. I mean, yeah, it was fucked up and it was in my head, but like...
You're already involved.
I got to like talk to people and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. But later on, he actually had a change of heart and... later on in the day, went and told his principal, Charles Perotti, quote, I found a dead body.
Told the principal.
Didn't know where else to go. He was at school. Told the highest authority figure who was around in the building right now.
Okay.
Who's the highest ranking adult that I have access to? The principal? Take me to him.
Talk to the boss, until he gets to the principal.
Till we get there. Now, the problem is the body had this. They're not the first person. The principal calls the police, and the police say, oh, yeah, no, we know about that already. We just got another call. Apparently, it had already been reported by Irvin and Leffler as well. So the people who said they were going to report it actually did. And, they went there. Irvin said that he told his friends if he had it to do again, he would report the body again, but he would have done it anonymously this time. Said he went to the police station. He said, I should have just, He went there and ran in. He's like, should have just called.
Payphone and
body over here. Click.
Yeah,
that would have been better.
Home Alone voice thing.
Hi. How you doing? Here is one of the kids that named David Gonzalez, who later on wrote a big thing about it in a tribute to Marcy, but describes what happens here. So he says, I'll just quote a lot from here, under John's instructions, Mike stopped the car on the side of the road about 200 feet from the bottom. Marsh Road was known to many teens that wanted a quiet place to hang out and party because it was nestled deep into the hills and a bit of a hard drive to get to. The cops rarely visited the road. Even the sun seemed to forget about this place in the broadest of daylight. It was quiet, dark, and damp, and there was a ravine that ran along the edge of the road that eventually crossed the bottom as you drove further down the road. Just to give you a mental picture.
Dumped her in a place where the sun forgets about it.
People dump like yard clippings and garbage out here. That's because no one goes here. It's one of those places. He said the ravine was dry and rocky that time of year, but I've seen it in the spring when water was flowing through it. I was the first one out of the car, and I remember I shouted quite profanely to John, "Okay, man, where is it?" John reluctantly got out of the car and pointed down the hill off the edge of the road to the dry ravine. By that time, Mike was standing beside me, and we were both staring curiously at a small pile of black garbage bags at the bottom of the hill. They didn't put leaves on. They put the garbage bags the leaves were in on top of her. So if you want to see her, look for the garbage bags. That's how it works.
The whole bag.
The whole bag.
Spread it out.
Nope. Well, the wind could take it then. So we'll just use these bags as a paperweight, as a corpse weight here now.
Holy.
He said we could slightly make out what seemed like it could be a mannequin partially exposed from underneath the bags, but it was hard to see from the road and down into the ravine. I had somewhat of a cast on my arm. Somewhat of a cast? Soft cast? I don't know. From the stabbing just a few weeks earlier. He got stabbed a few weeks earlier. So I only had the use of my right arm as I made my way clumsily down the hill to get a closer look. About halfway down, I lost my footing. Jesus, this is a mess. And broke loose into a slide down the hill directly toward the bundle of bags I was aiming for. With my leg and foot extended out in front of me all the way down, I remember hitting her body as I came to a stop.
He slid down.
Down into her.
Oh, my God.
From the way her body slightly jolted after I hit her, I quickly realized that this was no mannequin. Mike made his way down the hill right after me, and I remember suddenly feeling like a child asking his mother to confirm what was going on. I remember Mike handling the shock much better than I was, and as I looked at him, he must have seen the vulnerability in my gaze because he said calmly, "Dave, it's a body." Yeah, we know. I fucking touched it. Jesus. Yeah. He said, so there I was standing over Marcy as she lay on the ground in front of me. I didn't know who she was at the time, but I remember looking down and not really wanting to look directly at her. I could see her jeans were off her body and they were kind of tossed off to her side. I remember seeing one of her tennis shoes as well. Her long brown hair was exposed and the white pale skin of her thigh, but I cannot remember if she was face down or face up. I don't think that I could have told you as I was standing there if she was face down or face up. It was all it was as if all the confidence in the world suddenly left my body and just this frozen, scared little kid was left standing there, refusing to accept what was in front of him. That's okay. There was several black garbage bags stuffed with leaves or something partially on top and around her, apparently in an effort to try to cover her up. Still not knowing exactly what to do or think, I remember screaming to John, "What the fuck? Where is this Jacques guy? We need to go to the cops now." At the same time, deep in my mind, I remember that Jacques could still be on his way down there, and I must admit I was a little scared at the idea that he might be coming. John replied, as he knew what we were going to find, that he had already decided what his involvement was going to be, and it was going to be, "I'm not involved. Please do not mention my name if you go to the cops," he said. So keep me the fuck out of it. Still enraged with the discovery, I remember exploding at John and cursing him left and right. "What do you mean you're not involved? This is a body laying here."
We're both standing here, bud.
This girl goes to the junior high. Just then, Mike caught me at eye level and said, "Sure, John, we'll drop you off at school and we won't say a word about you." I can't say that I didn't completely understand John's response. For a split second, part of me wanted to just pretend I never saw her as well. So he says, he goes on to say they're dropping him off at school and they're going back and forth. Are we going to say anything? So He continues, and he says he ends up going to the cops. He says, I found about 15 or 20 minutes later, I found 3 policemen at Mike's car window where I was sitting asking me to get out of the car. My guess was that the detective up on the hill validated Mike's story and called down to the boys in the basement and told them to put down the donuts and grab the teen in the Camaro upstairs. I knew they had Camaros. I knew it, Jimmie.
Sure did.
Before I knew it, I was handcuffed to one of those old school desks, you know, the kind with the built-in writing table on the arm of the chair. Then I remember one of them asking my name and for my parents' phone number, and then he said his mom and dad came and said, why is he in handcuffs? And then they took the handcuffs off him because he's just a witness.
That's crazy. He's a witness. What are we doing?
He's a punk kid. Look at him. He's a punk.
They're really doing the most right now.
He's got a weed leaf necklace. He's a punk. The police said they know of 13 people who viewed the body.
Awful.
Yep, the detective said 4 carloads of kids cruised by and made abrupt turnarounds when the officers were at the site. So they got there.
Still doing the tour.
4 different carloads came and were like, oop, there's cops, turn it around. Yeah. And they made a quick U-turn and got out of there. The lieutenant here, Ron McLeister of the Santa Clara County Sheriff, said, who the hell knows how many went up there? It was getting to be an outing kind of thing. Like a place you go hang out.
Mall. Right.
Like that rock that kids go hang out at. Yeah, it's Smoker's Rock. Yeah, you go to hang out at Marcy's Corpse. That's not a fucking...
That's not a place to go.
Not a place to hang out.
Flame Tower Records.
Think the arcade with pinball and pizza. Why ever leave there?
Right.
Sounds great. So they say that Broussard himself took 4 loads of friends to the site in all, including one student who has been charged with an accessory after the fact, as we'll talk about here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The police, that's Kirk Rasmussen, who came with the bags of leaves.
Yeah.
He covered up the body. Can't do that. Right. They said he was trying to help. He said, to give him a head start. So you're trying to help him elude or...
Right.
Yep. So he also visited the body 3 times and then lied repeatedly when questioned by police, Rasmussen. So... Yep.
Jesus, he was going to be a bad kid, I think.
Not a good guy here.
No.
Seems like a dick. Rasmussen's parents, I like this is from the newspaper, quote, who live in a neat tract home with a Good News Bible in the window, called their son, quote, a nice boy.
I got news for you.
Oh, man. Epperson, this was his quote afterwards. I didn't think it was real. This is Jerry Epperson. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think anything about it. I went home and partied. He said then he heard a story on the news about it, and then he freaked out, he said.
You went and saw it, you idiot.
That's what I mean. You fucking saw it. He's like, oh, that's cool, bro. It's all right.
Can we go to the party now?
Yeah, woo. So the police called Mark Falks, asked him for an interview, and he said he finally told a friend about the body, and then the cops called him. He said he lied when he first talked to the cops, too.
You have to at that point, right?
I think so. So why didn't anybody tell? Why?
I'm baffled.
Okay, well, here's the excuses. Mark Falks said, quote, it's hard to tell on someone who's been your friend for 10 years. They've both been your friend, though.
Right, but how long has Marcy been your friend? And also,
come on.
Dude, you kissed her once.
He said, I told them I didn't know nothing about it. And then he did. He said, I think they were pretty scared to go tell the cops, talking about the other kids, but they thought they'd be blamed somehow. Here is Robert Engel, one of the friends. He said, I just didn't want to get involved. I don't think that it's fair that they blame all 1,600 kids at the high school for it, because they were saying it makes the high school look bad. Mm-hmm. John Simpson, another kid here, he said, this is about Jacques. He said, yeah, I knew Jacques. Quote, yeah, I used to beat him up every day.
Oh.
Jacques. He said, yeah, even though he's big, he's not a good fighter. He said no one was scared of Broussard. He said Jacques wasn't that much of a likable person so that people would want to cover for him. He was scared of everybody. Maybe when he was 9, but not now. It's a different thing. So there's another case recently here, which is interesting, that there happened very recently, and they were talking about how this case in San Jose recently might have made people not want to come forward, because there was a case in San Jose where 2 teenagers murdered one of the kids' parents and buried them in a backyard. afterwards they told a dozen kids, including a judge's son, and none of them told the cops.
Even the judge's son didn't say shit.
No, and then eventually somebody did, and then the people were like coming after this kid for snitching and all this shit, so they thought maybe that had something to do with it. They get Jacques in the box here, and he admits it fully, doesn't even fucking blink. He said, took her back to my house, raped her, and strangled her.
Oh, my God.
And they said, okay. Then later on the day, he said, I was on drugs, LSD. So it was LSD. And they, but still, why the fuck would you strangle a 14-year-old girl? And he said, Marcy had a tendency to mouth off. She was sitting on my lap. Basically what happened, I just grabbed her and she was dead. You're skipping a lot of story. You went from she mouths off sometimes, she was sitting on my lap, and then I grabbed her and she was dead. That's there's a lot missing there. What was said, how'd you grab her?
And then it got worse.
And then it got much worse. She was sitting on my lap, and then really bad shit happened.
Yeah.
He said he drove her to the hills, dumped her in the ravine. He said he was hanging out with some friends and told them, yeah, he admits it. Sure, no problem. Now, Hansen, he was one of the kids that wanted to tell right away because he said that he met Broussard only twice and felt no loyalty for him. But his hesitancy of why he didn't go to the cops, even though he wanted to, was, quote, because I was afraid they would get me as an accessory or something because he saw the body.
They're gonna, yeah.
His parents asked him why he didn't report it, and he said, I told them I was scared and really didn't know what to do. So Debbie, the one who cut the thing off the jeans, unsurprisingly, when all this is going on, she's in juvenile hall for an unrelated thing completely. Not even for this. Completely unrelated.
She might be a piece of shit otherwise.
Yeah. I want that patch off the dead girl's jeans while her corpse is still rotting on a ravine that's a fucked up kid. I'm sorry. That kid's fucked up.
She has certainly said she didn't need it anyway. Several times since then. What
14.
A piece of garbage.
Oof, that's cold, man.
What happened to her?
Wow. So Teresa Dane, who is friends with both Marcy and Debbie, said Debbie claimed that she didn't report the body to police because she was afraid. So Teresa Dane turned her into the police and later received an irate letter from Debbie. It said, quote,
now
we used to be
infighting.
Yeah, it said, we used to be so close, then you backstabbed me. Which sounds very 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, there's a body involved, honey. Come on.
Yep. Teresa Dane said everyone's mentality is, quote, their whole mentality is you don't narc on people. She said that many of the students went to see the body but didn't report it are members of the Stoners. She says, they said, well, what does that mean, the press? Yeah. And she said, that means that you, get stoned, party, drink, and pop. I don't know what pop is.
Drink and pop? What?
Uppers, probably pills. You pop pills.
Popping, yeah.
Pop pills. There we go. That's very 81 slang. Yeah. What are you doing tonight? Just popping and locking, and then popping some more, So
get it on and popping.
Yep. She said that she and Marcy were also stoners, Teresa said. And when Marcy was killed, she was wearing the, quote, so-called stoner blue jeans. I don't know if there's a particular jean they wore. A gold necklace with a marijuana leaf and a brown tank top that said spoiled rotten on it. That's the shirt she was wearing.
Jesus.
So, that's pretty fucked up. Now, Rasmussen, here, he's the one who put the leaves on the body and everything. Mm. He said that he was so messed up before he was right before he was arrested, it started to hit him all, and then he made him sad. Before that, he was bringing leaves and showing people, but once the cops got close to on his trail, he started getting sad. He said, I couldn't do my classwork. It was on my mind. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I would say. The parents of Leffler said they were proud of their son who reported the incident. Said, yeah. Yep. He said, I think it's just, this is Leffler's stepfather. I think that maybe it's just these kids are the people of who were part of the 60s. Are they an offspring of the let's do your own thing generation? I think we have to ask what has happened to our society, not just our kids. There's always been scumbag kids. That's their time. It was greasers well before there was hippies and well before there was,
And I think he's saying it reflects on the parents. Yeah. Generally, the scumbag kid is a child of lazy-ass parents. That's true.
That happens.
But for Christ's sake.
I mean, we've said the crazy nut doesn't fall far from the batshit tree. We've said that quite often.
sticks around. Yeah.
It sticks around.
It hits. It's weighted. It falls off the branch
boom.
and it just stays.
Yep.
It embeds in the dirt, in the gross dirt right beneath the tree.
The gross dirt. So Leffler, by the way, says he was threatened. He said one day at his house he heard voices outside the screen door. This was about a week after he reported the body to the police. And he heard voices say, quote, he's going to pay for what he did to Jacques. Huh. So he said that he went and got his .22 and pointed it at the door, and he said they could see it through the screen, and they took off.
Oh.
So that's what he said. A lot of these kids were it was just those kids who were just didn't want to, I don't know. One of the kids here, a 16-year-old named Charlie, he said of Mike Irvin, quote, he don't live by any code or nothing. Jacques is a partner of mine. He needs help. He's gone wacko, but I wouldn't narc on him. He would have gotten it sooner or later. So he said, they would have found him sooner or later. You didn't have to narc on him. The sergeant here, the police sergeant, said, I have never seen a group of people act so callous about death in my 15 years of police work.
Truly, I am shocked.
They are
just so dumb.
It's baffling. This is insane. He said not the crime itself. He said he's seen lots of murders and shit like that. He said the unusual aspect was what followed. The kids going up there. That was the unusual aspect. Yeah. A rape, strangle, dump is common, but not a rape, strangle, dump, come look at what I did. That's not common. Right. Usually that's a hidden thing you don't tell anybody about. That's fucking insane.
That everybody knows about. There's several cars going up there.
Yeah, that's right. But he said that that's how kids are. He said even the straightest kid in school knows which kid is dealing dope. They don't care or want to get involved. They all know the stuff that's going down. You take the straightest, straight A, civic-minded student in that school, and he's going to know all that, and he's not going to tell. Because it's none of his business. No one's dying. That's different. There's not a dead 14-year-old at the bottom of a ravine to look at and poke with a stick.
You can't compare nickel bag sales to rape and murder.
Yeah. Well, he said that too. He said, but when it reaches the point of murder, I mean, when you're talking about a 14-year-old girl, and then he trailed off. He said whether it was fear or whatever, it would be hard to say. He said, but they knew it was a dead body, definitely. The location of the body, nobody in their right mind could think it was a mannequin. No shit. The school librarian says this, John Ellis. He says, I don't think the kids here are different from anywhere else in the country. They're all touched by the same media. The impact of violence on TV is the same as everywhere else. Read more books. I'm the librarian, please. He's the librarian. Of course he's going to say this.
Yeah, but Fight Club book is a little more vicious than the movie.
It's much more vicious. There's also a bunch of kids in a tough school in San Francisco that they went to interview. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I mean, that's normal. That's cool. He said, quote, the one kid said they was probably just protecting their homeboy. Anything to protect a homeboy.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. So they said that like we mentioned earlier, race was never mentioned as a factor, even though the victim was a small white girl and the perpetrator's a giant black guy. Yeah. They never thought that was an issue because he grew up there and it wasn't wasn't a big deal. So the charges are murder, obviously. Yeah. Broussard, they're considering whether to try him as an adult, and Rasmussen's also in the Santa Clara Juvenile Hall for failing to. Now the assistant district attorney said the other kids aren't in trouble because it's not a crime to fail to report a body or a murder, only to harbor a murderer or actively impede a probe. I don't know if that's still the case, but that's what it was there. They said even cutting the thing off the jeans, that wasn't even a crime. Because
is that right?
It didn't hide the body or anything. So
and the jeans weren't on the body, so I guess
Yeah. They charge him as an adult, okay? Obviously, because one of the things that they said they were going to do here, charging him as an adult, was because they were also charging him with 2 more rapes of 13 and 14-year-old girls.
2 other
around
girls?
The area, 2 other areas.
Oh my God.
So eventually, though, the way that goes, the parents don't want these girls to have to testify and go through all this shit.
Right.
So what they do is they make a deal with him that they'll drop those 2 rape charges, which the parents want and the girls want, if he will plead guilty to murder. They won't go through the whole thing. Otherwise, he's eligible for the death penalty and shit or whatever. So they say, okay, fine. So he pleads guilty to murder. They do a psychological evaluation to see where he should be housed, state prison or juvenile hall. And the report from there said he changes stories daily, hourly, whimsically. They said that he appears to be without feelings about human life and without emotion, as if nothing's ever touched him.
Oh, my.
So, yeah. Now
that's a dark fucking assessment.
Yep. The defense psychiatrist said that from the age of 8, when he found his mother dead, he stopped his maturation process stopped, and he developed a pathological family life that included talking to inanimate objects and seeking advice from his dog.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He diagnosed him as a chronic paranoid schizophrenic with transient organic brain disease caused by drug abuse.
This kid is a dangerous human being.
He's a fucking mess. So sentencing comes around here, and the judge says, well, you, sir, if it could be juvenile hall or state prison, they decide that it will be prison. He's going to get sentenced to adult prison. Sure. You, sir, may fuck off, you little asshole. 25 years to life.
Oh, my God.
State prison. He'll be eligible for parole in 16 years, 8 months. That'd be 97.
Okay.
Rasmussen is sentenced to 3 years in a juvenile center for attempting to conceal the crime by covering it with leaves. Yeah. That is fucking wild. And Falks ends up being charged with being an accessory because of the lying to police that he did. Yeah. They eventually dismissed his case.
Lucky.
So this was made into 1987. The movie The River's Edge is about this.
Really?
It's loosely based on this, starring Keanu Reeves, Crispin Glover, Ione Skye, who was hot as shit back then, or in the 90s anyway. Yeah. Dennis Hopper's in this.
Oh, my God.
He's playing a made-up character, though.
Okay.
And they make the murderer a white guy also. Oh, Daniel Roebuck plays the murderer, who played Jay Leno in the HBO late-night movie. He's that guy. So, you know what I mean? A little different.
Yeah,
he's big.
Gas.
He's big anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the movie there. 1996, he's up for parole.
Oh, boy.
Here, 97. The Board of Prison Terms votes 3-0 to deny him parole, saying that he has antisocial behavior before the crime, history of drug abuse, lack of remorse at the time and now, and a lot of people opposing his shit.
16 years doesn't even feel bad.
Doesn't even feel bad. As of 2017, an article of him still currently serving out his sentence in Soledad, been denied parole several times, and he is currently at the correctional training facility in Soledad, California. He's still in prison. He's still in for 40 fucking years they've kept him.
40 years. What? That tells you how really fucked he is between the ears.
What a complete asshole he is.
Yeah,
he can't even, 40 years, he can't go, I feel terrible I killed that girl. They would rubber stamp that parole so fucking fast.
Yeah.
Nope, he's got to go. Fuck her.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
He's got to have so many mental health issues.
Fuck yeah. So that's Milpitas, everybody. Milpitas, California.
God.
And a really fucked up group of kids here. So
terrible event in a terribly named town.
Don't blame weed for this. This is a whole other issue here. Blame the popping maybe, but not the weed. So there you go. If you like the show, tell the world about it. Get on Apple Podcasts or whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It helps a lot. So do that, please. It helps drive us up the charts. The charts?
Up the charts.
Up the charts. All the way up the charts, everybody. Up the charts. Our new show will be coming out. Looks like the end of February. Yeah. Our new show, we're so excited about it. It is called Your Stupid Opinions, and it is everybody's stupid opinions because it's about reviews just like we do in the bonus episodes and just like we do here on the review part. But it could be anything on earth that could have a review, and the internet is all reviews. So everything has reviews. We're going to find the dumbest, craziest ones, and we are going to make fun of them unmercifully and have such a good time. We cannot wait. Your stupid opinions. Get ready for it, everybody. And we'll have social media for it soon and all that kind of thing. Speaking of social media, you can follow this show at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter. Definitely do that. Get your tickets to live shows all over the place, especially February 10th in Cleveland, February 11th in St. Louis. Get those at shutupandgivememurder.com, patreon.com/crime and sports. That's all the bonus stuff. You go there, you get bonus episodes, tons of them every other week. You get 2 more. There's a big back catalog. This week for crime and sports, it's going to be, and you'll get that, by the way, get access to everything. Yeah, that's going to be players going into the stands and attacking fans. Stories, I have them from 1900 on.
Oh, my.
Crazy. It happened even more back then. And then for small town murder, Nazis on drugs. Hear about what they were injecting into Hitler that made him think it was a good idea to invade Russia and shit like that. Crazy stuff. We'll hear all about that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Plus, you get a shout out at the end of the show. Want to follow us on social media? Very easy to do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Links are there to everything. Keep coming back and seeing us, goddammit. Thank you so much. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure. If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.